The Friends of UNH Women's Hockey present Coach's Corner with head coach Brian McCloksey.
The UNH Women's Hockey team completed a very important weekend against Providence College this weekend with two big victories to sweep the Friars. They won 3-0 Saturday in Providence and then came back here to the Witt for a 3-1 victory. And, of course, Saturday's win meant they clinched their third consecutive Hockey East outright league title, a very important milestone. Well, Coach, we looked at these games, and we knew they were going to be important as a milestone or a measuring stick of where the team is right now. Give us your assessment on how things went this weekend.
Well, I think it was what was impressive to me this weekend was we had to match our opponent's intensity, and Providence is a very, very well-coached team, as I've stressed coming into the weekend, and they played hard for 60 minutes at their building, and same back here. And they flurried at times. They put pressure on us. They forced us to handle the way they press, which is they're very selective, but they angle well and they take away passing lanes as well as any team in our league. So it wasn't flawless hockey on our part, but it's a good barometer, and it's the kind of challenge that all teams need, because it gives you a little report card on where you can improve and get better. And but I think overall I'm very happy with. Obviously you have to be, the record and what the kids have accomplished to date, and I'm really excited about the remaining 2 games and then into the playoffs. Because I think I realized, I realized it certainly a few weeks ago, but it's continued, is that this team has an ability to play at one level. I know that, and pretty consistently play at that level. I know there's another gear, and, I think the key for us, can we find a way to extract that extra notch up, and I believe we will. I really think our best hockey has yet to have been played, and I think once you get into these playoff atmosphere games, they have a tendency to elevate your kids, and in terms of concentration and focus and execution. So, I think there's. I guess I'm excited because even though I'm not a fan in terms of sitting there watching the game, I'm always looking at it from a coach's eye. I think there's going to be some great hockey in the next few weeks.
One noticeable difference between this year's schedule and last year's schedule is you're finishing up against the 2 strongest rivals in Hockey East.
Yep.
Last year you finished up with 2 of the weaker teams in Hockey East. Do you think it's a benefit going into the playoffs that you're facing tougher competition in your last few regular season games?
Absolutely. There's no question that our league has been a little bit better balanced, in my opinion, this year. Certainly the middle is deeper. You've got BU and BC battling out this weekend for the the 4th slot, or I'm not certain of the exact statistics, but maybe they could catch Providence too. But I think playing Providence and UConn these last 2 weekends is going to serve us well. There's no doubt.
Looking at the Hockey East record, one thing which stands out to me, which is really quite amazing, 19 regular season games, you've allowed 14 goals all season long. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is. And, we've talked about it, I think, repeatedly. We've gotten great goaltending. Kaylee gave up 1 goal on the weekend. It was a 5-on-3. And obviously she made probably as many saves this weekend, and from the bench I can tell you that she had to make some tough ones, and big saves both games. And on Sunday back here, late in the game, Providence made a couple of super plays, and we didn't defend very well, and they were right in on top of her. So I think Kaylee's been a real stalwart for us, and obviously Lucy Shadle's had a handful of games, and I don't know if she's even given up a goal, so she's done her part as well. And then just the whole D-corps. This is a very veteran core of blue liners, and certainly it's team defense first, but it's been an impressive run for us. And, it's limiting teams scoring chance-wise is what a coach is always looking at, and I think, our team has done an extremely good job of that all season long.
Another good strong point, we've talked about this before, but it's very evident this weekend. 6 goals is not a tremendous amount of goals to score in the course of a weekend, but if you look across the score sheet, there were a lot of names on that score sheet contributing to those 6 goals.
Yeah, I thought what was particularly impressive this weekend was the line of Jen Wakefield, Angela Taylor, and Steph Holmes were clearly our most effective line, and Jennifer's had a phenomenal rookie year. She's had a phenomenal year for anybody, but I think in particular Steph and Angela were really on their game, and that bodes really well for us. And that's the key to you don't put together a record like we have if you're a one-line team or your goalie's keeping you in the games. I mean, the depth that we've discussed all year has paid huge dividends. It's a harder group to manage at times because there's only one puck and there's only so many kids can be on the ice at any given time, and that's been a challenge for us. But I think it's a great reinforcing lesson for all your athletes that because truthfully most kids come into college and it's been about them wherever they are, and I think to realize that you can get lost in your team and your teammates and enjoy their success. I think a lot of kids in the team they were all genuinely thrilled for, particularly for Steph, who got 2 goals this weekend, and for Angela because they played so well. And that's a sign that's a great sign going into the playoffs for your team.
Okay, here it is. Last weekend, 2 big games against Connecticut. They may not mean too much in terms of the standings, but they do mean an awful lot in terms of preparation because you usually could see Connecticut again in the league finals. So why don't you give us a scouting report on the Huskies?
Well, they're a really well-coached team, too. They've won 22 games this year. The interesting thing about Heather's team, in my opinion, is they've won 22 games, and I don't know if they've won many of them, maybe a handful, that haven't been 1 or 2 goal wins. They've been in a lot of tough contests. We saw them early here on the big ice, and we got out to a quick lead and kind of ran away. I don't expect that to be the case at all this weekend. They've got a couple of the league's top scorers in Jacqueline Hawkins and Dominique Thibault or Jocelyn Thibault, and they're really, really gifted kids. You let them get the puck inside the dots, and you're going to be in trouble. So we're going to get tested in a good way. They're defensively probably one of the best coach teams in the league. They don't give you a lot of second chance opportunities. And then they've got Miss Wilson in the net, and she's been a stalwart from the time I remember coming into the league, and she's certainly lived up to her billing again this year. So even though they don't mean anything in the league, at this point they won't mean anything in terms of where teams finish. For both Heather's team and our team, it means a lot. I mean, you're number one. It's establishing, who's going to dictate heading into the league playoff. Or who has the upper hand, or who's playing better right now. And on top of that, pairwise, every game matters. I mean, this game's as important as when Wisconsin came because it's going to ultimately, these games, win or lose, you're going to determine your seeding. And, I think it's a pretty safe bet that we're going to make the Final 8. I'm not certain of that, but I feel like we're pretty much sewing up a position there. But whether we're 8, 6, and if you don't win these games, not only could you be on the road, if there's a couple upsets in other tournaments, you might not even be in the tournament.
Great, thanks a lot, Coach. We'll be back next week. Recap what happened in this important weekend. We'll remind you also that home game is on Saturday at 2:00, and it's Senior Day, where this graduating class will be honored. So it's a great chance to come out and see some great hockey.